Good day, folks, and welcome to another edition of Lumberjack Logic. I'm your host, Neil Johnson, with a bombshell report. We have been digging into Fani Willis's past, and we are finding out some really interesting things. The liberals are learning about the law of unintended consequences. That's right. See, they think they can just go after Trump, and everything's going to be hunky-dory, and no one's going to look into their past. But all of a sudden, we're finding out that things aren't quite what they seem. They're telling us that Fani Willis is a strong, independent black woman who's out there to right the injustices of the world, when in all reality, these are the lawbreakers that the justice system was set up for. Now, many of you have heard about the cracker comment, I'm sure, by Fani Willis's dad. I'm going to play that video for you here, but this report goes a lot further than that.
After the election, I was so pissed off at that. How could this Texas cracker come here and run the black community? I was just livid.
Who are you referring to?
Jesse Hunter, Big Daddy Fat Texas cracker. Okay, Hunter. Okay, him. Okay.
Wow, crackers, huh? I mean, how come it's okay for him to say that white people are crackers, but it's not okay for white people to use derogatory terms? I would say that neither side should be using derogatory terms. See, this is the whole idea of racial division that they need to stoke so that we stay divided so they can stay in power. I'm talking about the global scavengers who call themselves the elites who prey off of us. Yes, and just see us as batteries, basically, to fund their enterprises. But Georgia Bunny shared this with me on Twitter, and this gets a lot deeper, people, because we're going to take and dissect this guy's life a little bit more. So Clifford Floyd III, this out of the Atlanta Journal-Constitution, certainly not a friend to conservatives. I've read enough of their stuff. They are not a conservative paper. Very liberal, very biased. Okay? Willis repeatedly called him daddy and said the court would have a chance to learn more from Clifford Floyd III when he appeared in court that day. So here's what we know about him. He was also a lawyer, a criminal defense lawyer who raised Willis both in California and Washington, D.C. And he encouraged Willis to become a lawyer. He was a former Black Panther, okay? A leader in the Black Panthers. And he was involved in sit-ins and all this kind of stuff. He did not like white people. He also, out of another article I'm reading here out of Heavy, he called the police an occupying force. He has a very strong, which is really interesting because this case is all about the rule of law. And who do they want to have arrest Donald Trump? Well, the police. So these are the people that hate the police, want to defund the police, but they want to use the police to prosecute their political enemies. Don't forget that. And think of it. Donald Trump is white, and they've castigated him and run him through the ringer and tried to prove that he's some sort of racist when he doesn't make racist comments. It's like that guy I talked to in the sauna I told you about the other day. I mean, he says he wants to clean up neighborhoods and increase property values. Okay, well, wouldn't that be just, cleaning up crime? They want to clean up crime and increase property values. So what these people saying is that all the crime is in black neighborhoods? Is that what they're saying? Come on, that's not what Donald Trump said. Cleaning up crime is cleaning up crime. Whether that's white crime, black crime, Hispanic crime, any kind of crime. Let's just call it people crime right now. So he's a former Black Panther. He was very security conscious. He was always worried about security. And we're going to find out why here in a little bit. And he was the one that also, the question of cash, it was him that told her to keep cash around. She said at times she kept up to $15,000 at her home and also carried cash when she traveled. Well, I don't know why everybody's so worked up about this because, keeping cash around if you want to buy cars off Craigslist is great. I mean, you can't go there with a check. They're not taking it. So I think, and, if you want to get the car and it just comes up and it's a good deal right then and there, you got to be able to buy it. A lot of people carry cash. The problem was we have just found out today that she pulled money, which she admitted to on the witness stand from her campaign that she didn't pay back. She pulled out loans for her campaign. This is like felony level stuff, people. So these people are above the law who talk about the rule of law. I just want you to understand that. But here's where it gets really spicy. His dating life. He once dated Angela Davis, the academic and activist who ran twice for vice president on the Communist Party ticket, according to Find Me the Votes. So let's look at Angela Davis. So off the History Channel, I'm going to give you a little interesting information on her. And this tells you the same crowd that they are running with and how this influences their thinking. On August 18th, 1970, Angela Yvonne Davis became the third woman ever placed on the FBI's top 10 most wanted fugitives list, sought for her involvement in kidnappings and murders growing out of an armed seizure of a Marin County courthouse in California. Until her arrest 2 months later, photos of the 26-year-old university professor and activist with her iconic afro hairstyle appeared on an FBI poster, along with a warning that she should be considered armed and dangerous. David's arrest was followed by a 16-month incarceration and a huge global campaign to free Angela Davis, leading to her acquittal in 1972. An acclaimed author, academic, and advocate for prison reform, Davis has since described those 2 years as a formative period for what became her lifelong work. Now, after that, she was dating Fani's father, apparently. She also campaigned for the release of the Soledad brothers. And to give you a little history lesson on this, the Soledad brothers were 3 prisoners accused of the murder of a prison guard at a California state prison. The killing had occurred 3 days after another guard shot and killed 3 black prisoners during a riot. So remember, this is going back to the 60s, 70s. There was a lot of racial animosity in this country. And one of the things that solved that was the Jesus movement, the last great spiritual awakening in our country's history. Okay? The assault on the Marin County courthouse. On August 7th, Jackson burst into the courthouse in Marin County, California, where Judge Harold J. Haley presided over an assault trial. The Associated Press reported that Jackson carried a bowling bag full of weapons and distributed them to the 3 convicts. 1 on trial and 2 were there as witnesses. The armed men took Judge Haley and 4 other people as hostages and marched them to a small van in the parking lot. Authorities alleged that Jackson intended to trade the hostages for the Soledad prisoners. Police exchanged fire with the abductors as they attempted to flee, and 4 people were killed in the shootout. The judge, 2 of the prisoners, and Jackson. Witnesses before a county grand jury testified that several of the weapons used in the courthouse takeover had been purchased by Davis, including a sawed-off shotgun that authorities said was used to kill Judge Haley. Although Davis had not been present, the grand jury returned an indictment charging her with kidnapping, murder, and conspiracy. Davis never denied owning the weapons, but said she was not involved and had no knowledge for weapons being used in the courthouse assault. In a 2004 interview on C-SPAN, Davis said that she had received multiple threats following her discharge from UCLA, that she purchased guns that were used by a number of people who acted as security for her, and that Jackson had been part of a security detail with access to the weapons. So this is who Fani Willis was influenced by. A father who dated a woman like this and was involved in all these types of activities. They have a strong dislike for white people, and they have a very strong dislike for Donald Trump, and it is coloring every aspect of this case. Please check out my sponsor, MyPillow, mypillow.com. Use promo code Lumberjack for big savings, people. Get yourself some flannel Giza sheets. I like both the regular and the flannel, but I'm in winter in Minnesota, and those flannel sheets are the coziest things. I've had flannel sheets before. They weren't like these sheets. Anyways, I'll see you on the next episode. Remember to subscribe if you're new. Peace out.